Hi, good morning everyone. This is Dr. K. Kannadasan, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Sports Psychology and Sociology. So, with regard to psychological preparation and mental skills training, I would be talking to you as part of Unit 4, the Psychological Preparation Continuum. So, as we all know that psychological preparation and mental skills training plays a major role these days to enhance the performance of every athlete or every sports person to reach their maximum. So, and especially these days, this been given a more importance, and where the scopes of sports psychologists have also been increased, because where there is a need on the psychological part to enhance the performance of athletes. And to say something about psychological preparation, as a sportsman, as an athlete, we also know that psychological preparation is very much needed during the training sessions, like preparing for the competition, or during the competition phase, or even after the competition times. So we say psychological preparation refers to the mental preparation of the player before competition, during the competition, and after the competition. It doesn't stop with this, but also has got some importance of psychological preparations, like the importance that we give for physical training should also be given to mental training. So mental training is as equal as important to physical training. And then this psychological preparation also helps the player to meet the demands to deal with negative emotions like anxiety, fear, and competition arousal. And also it helps the player to deal with the different qualities which has to be improved, and which needs importance, like the self-awareness of an athlete, and his positive attitude of an athlete, the self-confidence of an athlete, the tough-mindedness of an athlete, as well the strong willpower and determination. This is all included in psychological preparation. And it doesn't stop with that. It also, this psychological preparation helps the player to develop their concentration, their decision making, and goal setting. And also this helps to resolve the interpersonal conflict, which is quite common, especially in team sport. This resolving the conflict, and then to improve the interpersonal relationship with the teammates as well as coaches. And we can state many examples with the different sports, the controversies that happens with the teammates, or the controversies that takes place with their own coaches. So a lot of things may overcome through this psychological preparation. But as far as this particular session is concerned, that psychological preparation continuums are very much important. Well, you can say short-term psychological preparation or long-term psychological preparation. So both needs an equal importance, and according to me, what I feel, that short-term psychological preparation is also a part of long-term psychological preparation, where when we discuss the various stages and steps that is followed in long-term psychological preparation, we could able to understand, yes, it is short-term psychological preparation is also a part of long-term psychological preparation. And this let me see that short-term psychological preparation. How this short-term psychological preparation, generally the general planning is one of the major area where they are very much concerned about a pre-match meal of before the competition. Even the coaches or dietitians recommend the players to maintain the pre-match meal schedule. For an example, you can say a match is about to start by by 6 p.m. in the evening. They are supposed to complete their snacks or whatever that boosts their energy uh, by before 5 p.m. Okay. And even very particularly, if we ask to some dietitians, they give us a very clear cut chart how what are all the times the players should take their meal, or what kind of meal that they need to take. So short term psychological preparation also uh, also uh, also helps the players to maintain the pre-match meal, the timing of the meal, which is more important, and physical activities prior to the competition, and details of equipment and travel, and mental rehearsal programs. Okay. But most of the times, the athletes, those who are not well versed with this mental rehearsal programs and all, they fail they fail to practice it. They fail to implement during their practice sessions. So this is another thing. And when the travel, there was a point like details of equipment and travel. Okay. When the traveling is not done properly, traveling plan was not done properly, the recovery period disturbs the psychological preparation of athlete. So, and equal importance to be given to traveling also. And the next point that includes in short-term psychological preparation is stress management. Okay, like relaxation exercises, which should be used more often. Okay, to keep the athletes out of all negative kind of emotions, or to stay positively. Okay, and sometimes interaction with other players and players interaction with a significant others also reduce stress. So this is more important. Like we need to interact with our own co-athletes or co-players to stay away from stress. So short-term psychological preparations includes these points, and and when we look into the long-term psychological continuum, okay, we have got different stages or different phases. Like we have pre-competition phase, and we have competition phase, or immediate phase, or even post-competition phase. So all the three competition phases need to be given importance for psychological preparation. And what happens when when we when we prepare ourselves psychologically during the pre-competition phase? The first stage, we call it as psychodiagnosis. So psychodiagnosis, which includes all psychological tests uh, that has been designed according to the demands of that particular game, and according to their age, according to their skill, and according to the game plans also. So accordingly, whatever the test that is required to be tested on an athlete, uh, or any sports person. So this can be diagnosed through the test that has been designed according to the demand. So that is what been done in the stage 1 of psychodiagnosis. And in stage 2, the psychological recommendations. Uh, After the psychological assessment is done, what we do in the first stage, that is a psychodiagnosis. So after that, the psychopedagogical recommendations are given. So the recommendations, like the personal things which is involved with the team. So So in the diagnosis, we could be able to know what are the personal things affecting the performance of the athlete. So those things are being taken, and they recommend. They used to recommend what need to be done, what not to do, and from the observation of the counselor. Like the coaches, this also includes the coaches, players, or doctors and other paramedical staff who accompanies with the team uh, to help the athlete, to support the athlete to give their best in the competition. So what are the recommendations that is being given by all the sports personnel who accompanies with the team need to be considered, okay, so to perform better. And in stage 3, the psychological preparation um, of team will include different exercises. So here, in different exercises, you can add relaxation training as one of the major thing to get prepared psychologically. And another one, managing your stress is another thing, and positive thinking, which needs to be given importance. And there are many other things, uh, self self-regulation or mental practice, training for concentration and self-talk. Okay. So these kind of trainings trainings or interventions can be implemented during the stage 3 of psychological preparation. And when we move on to the next stage, that is competition phase or immediate phase, okay, where an athlete is ready to take part in the competition. What do they do in this stage? They try to have control over the player, um, and their self-regulation during competition. Here, during critical period of competition, uh, the suggestions offered by the coaches, uh, which elicit the changes in athletes' behavior. Okay. Might be a tip we would have seen uh, that could help them to perform better. A tip that is given by the co-athlete or the coaches, which helps them to perform better. So these kind of things happens, and more like pep talks. The pep talks are being used. The psycho-regulatory techniques and brief counseling during the competition will help the player uh, for performing better. Okay, so this is what happens in stage 4, and in the last stage, post-competition phase, where we need to give importance for the relaxation of athletes uh, as well to bring back the athletes to the competition. So every competition will provide a feedback. Might be their strengths, might be their weaknesses, and the strategies that they use. So these can be worked out well in the evaluation stage, and also the coach and players should together analyze the reasons for winning. Either it is for winning or it is for getting defeated in the competition. So the strategies, everything need to be analyzed, both together. The team or the coach or the athlete, they have to stay together to analyze the strength and weaknesses of winning as well as getting defeated. And based on this, future strategies may be worked out uh, to stay to stay strong to achieve in that competition. So I hope the short term and long term psychological preparation on the whole, the continuum, would have been made much clear. And I would like to end up this session with a famous quote by Dylan Boucher, that is, to be successful you need to face your hardest opponent by yourself. So to be successful, you need to face your hardest opponent yourself. So take these words, and I hope you would have enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.